Hi, I'm Megan, and I live in Ottawa. My heart story starts in 2009 at the age of 36 when I started developing episodes of palpitations, lightheadedness, and a general feeling like my heart was going to fly out of my chest. Due to the sporadic, random nature of the palpitations, like when they would start and for how long, it took a few months to get an official diagnosis of atrial fibrillation. At first, they started as shorter episodes and usually when I was exercising. Then they became more frequent and lasted longer. But the frustrating part was trying to get to the emergency room fast enough to get an ECG reading to show what was going on. My heart would go into a normal rhythm before I could get a reading. So those few months before my diagnosis felt like torture. I knew something was wrong, but I just couldn't catch it. After my diagnosis at the hospital, I was referred to a cardiologist. Back then, I wasn't really aware or concerned about the condition, even though my family had a pretty dark history with heart disease. It just didn't seem to register with me. I was given medications, given an appointment for a year later, so I went on my merry way. And I think I just thought the meds will take care of the problem, kind of like how Tylenol gets rid of a headache. And the medications were effective until 2022, at the height of COVID's Omicron wave, when I went into atrial fibrillation one night and I went to the ER. I was monitored, cardioverted, where they use paddles to shock your heart into a normal sinus rhythm, and then I was sent home. Then the next night it happened again, and the same thing the next night, and the next night after that, until I had spent 10 consecutive days going to the ER for cardioversion. I even spent my 49th birthday there. By the 10th night, my exhaustion had reached its limits. I was a walking zombie. I developed calluses in my arms from the IVs. But luckily, one of the ERs took pity on me and referred me to an electrophysiologist at the Ottawa Heart Institute. I was also put on antiarrhythmics and blood thinners along with my usual beta blocker, which at the age of 49 felt like a pretty heavy weight. After talking to the electrophysiologist, I was put on the wait list for a cardiac ablation. And a year later, on June 7th, 2023, I had the procedure. An ablation is where they insert a catheter into a vein in your groin. They go into your heart and burn the faulty electrical pathways that are causing the heart to go out of rhythm. The months following, I completed cardiac rehab, also at the Heart Institute, and signed up with the Women at Heart support group to help me overcome the toll that this had all taken on my life. Slowly, I was able to come off all the meds and start living. AFib is a pretty common arrhythmia, but that should not be mistaken for normal. The world can become a whole lot smaller for people with AFib. They become afraid to leave the house in fear of an episode happening when they least expect it, like while driving, at work, or maybe at a public event. Because of this, you feel isolated and depression can sink in. The Women at Heart program was a place I could speak to women going through similar crises, where people understood me. They were my sounding board, and I felt less alone. It's now 2025, and my heart journey is still ongoing because the atrial fibrillation has returned. I'm on the list to receive a second ablation, which will be sometime in the weeks or months to come. Today, I'm more aware of my condition. I've learned a lot through facing the fear and reading about it. I know to listen to my body, no alcohol, a healthy diet, good sleep, exercise, and minimal stress. That one thing, that last one, is a hard one to tackle, but it's a work in progress. I'm now also a Women at Heart peer support leader because I want to impart the knowledge that I've gained so it can help other women like me.